We've got the win rates for Marvel Rivals Season 1 right here, boys, and we're going to see who the supposed best and worst characters are so far in Season 1. And we've got a full tier list breakdown at the end. At the tippity top of this list, we have my girl Storm with a tasty win rate of 57.56. And this first surprised me a little bit, because Storm was arguably the worst character in Season 0. But then I remembered she got a very nice buff coming into Season 1. They increased her projectile speed and damage of her primary fire, increased the damage of her bolt rush ability, and buffed her ult pretty substantially. I covered all the nerfs and buffs in another video, I'll link that at the end if you want to check that out. So obviously this buff has made her not just a more popular pick, but also a good one. Big ups for Storm, she definitely needed some love. Coming in at number 2, which also surprised the heck out of me, but also made me super happy, was our boy Rocket, currently sitting at a 55.92% win rate. So Rocket wasn't bad in Season 0. I liked him a lot, I thought he was a decent healer damage combo, he just couldn't compete with Mantis at the time. Moving into Season 1, Rocket got a slight buff that seems to have made a big difference. They increased the healing of his repair mode from 60 per second to 70 per second. Again, that's not a crazy change, but it did let him keep his decent damage output while padding his healing numbers a bit. Still, he's no replacement for Mantis, who is on this list shortly, I promise. At number 3, we have Penny Parker with a win rate of 53.61. I gotta be honest, boys, I'm not a fan of Penny in the slightest, but it's probably just because I don't really know how to play her. But for those that do know how to play her, I guess it works out, because she didn't get a buff or a nerf moving into Season 1. I guess Penny mains are just built different. Number 4, we have my personal Hellscape nightmare, Magic, with a 53.38. Most of the time, people who play Magic seem to play her pretty well. Moving into Season 1, she did get a buff for Darkchild that increased her Umbral Incursion damage, but really I think she was just cracked in Season 0 as well. And at 5, we have Mantis, with a win rate of 53.35, coming in right behind Magic. It was actually wild to me that Mantis was this low on this list. I really felt like hands down she was the best strategist in Season 0, with Cloak and Dagger being a real close second. Mantis did get a pretty small nerf, but just to her passive movement speed, so like nothing game changing for her. From what I've seen on some top tier ranked games, Mantis is usually a lock for strategists, so there's a good chance she'll be making her way up this list as the season progresses. At 6 and 7, we have Thor with a 52.74 and Captain America with a 51.62. And I'm lumping these two together here because 1, they're only one place apart, and 2, they have that team up that basically lets Cap throw his shield nonstop. Now I can't say with 100% confidence that that's why they're right next to each other on this list, but it's got to carry some weight, right? They also both received a pretty hefty buff moving into Season 1, with both of them getting a health increase among other ability buffs. At number 8, we have Hulk with a 51.55% win rate. This was kind of surprising because every Hulk I face is usually clapping me literally. He did get a slight nerf coming into Season 1 that reduced his overall gamma shield value from 250 down to 200, but I would say it's less his nerf and more so the buffs of the others on this list that knocked him down a bit. At number 9, we have Loki with a 51.39% win rate, which also hurt my heart because I just finished Loki Season 2 and I'm a little attached to him right now. I know I'm behind, don't judge me. Loki didn't get any buffs or nerfs coming into Season 1, but I do think Loki is one of those characters that you're either like really good with or really bad with. Not a whole lot of middle ground here with him. At least that's my personal experience and what I've seen in some rank play. And at the bottom of our top 10 list, we have the newest addition, Mr. Fantastic, with a 51.23% win rate. Now obviously Mr. Fantastic is new and people haven't really had the time to really lock down his kit and playstyle, and I think that's what makes this impressive. Like, he's fresh and still making the top 10. I tried to play him, I'm utter garbage with him, but for everyone who's making it work, like, big ups for you guys. I'm a bit disappointed that Invisible Woman didn't make the top 10. I've been maining her since the new season started, and I think she's a really great strategist. She's actually currently sitting at a 49.55. Now keep in mind, this list that we just went over was just the overall win rate. When you throw pick rate into things get a little bit more confusing, but this image right here tries to take into account both win rate and pick rate for some math I can't really figure out on my own. But it honestly doesn't seem to change things too drastically. Storm and Rocket are still S tier picks, but man, how the mighty have fallen, with Hawkeye dropping to a 44.47% win rate and into the C tier. And that's terrible. That's sad, but I don't know if anything can be as sad as Jeff and Black Widow just holding it down at the main bottom of the list here. I mean, even with Widow's buff she got this season, she's still at the bottom. But that's all I have for you guys right now. Check out this next video if you want to see all the nerfs and buffs that came in Season 1, and I hope you have a great day.